Right, hello everyone. So welcome to Car Dealer Pro this week, and this week we're going to have a chat about cars that struggle to sell, or the features or things on cars that we struggle to sell.
Yeah, like colours.
Colours we're going to start with,
Modifications, anything that
makes it hard to sell.
Yeah, anyone in the comments as well, what cars for you are really hard to sell?
Yeah.
That maybe for us might be easy to sell.
Possibly could be. Again, sometimes it comes down to even where you are in the country. Some stuff will get snapped up quick as anything in Scotland, but might be struggling to sell in England or Wales. So if you've got any examples, or you're from, even because I know we've got a few viewers in other countries as well, what sells in your country? That'd be good to know, because British buyers can be fucking weird sometimes, can't they? Yeah.
Well, I've sold quite a few cars to Cyprus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Loads of cars to Cyprus, quite a few Ireland as well.
Yeah, Ireland's an easy one, but then again, always seems to be diesels in Ireland, doesn't it?
Yeah, just I'm trying to think what I've sold to Ireland. A Terios, a Daihatsu Terios.
Oh yeah. That was our little favourite, Daihatsu Terios. Yeah.
So in the comments, let us know what cars do you struggle to sell. And I can tell you my first one that I want to say. Well, there's two that are jumping out my brain.
Go on then.
I think you're going to know. So, and this one really annoys me. Red cars.
Red cars. I like red cars.
I do.
But I should say, actually, it comes down to what red it is. Because remember that Focus we had in, the one that was on the channel, that 1.5?
Yeah, but
that was like a candy red, wasn't it?
But was it $5,000?
Yeah.
So any red car under $5,000
will fly out.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not an headache at all.
Yeah.
But anything from, I don't know, 715, even up to 20, for me, it's just such an hard sell.
Yeah.
I can never remember an expensive red car that's just flown out.
I think for a lot of manufacturers, red's like a base colour, isn't it? It's either like, white's really popular, it always will be popular, so I think they've clocked on to the fact.
I remember when white wasn't popular.
Well, this is just it, isn't it? Everything's gone through like a
white was like the
washing machine white, wasn't it?
It was when you had it was like when I bought my first ever car, Citroen Saxo. The white car was the cheapest one you could have.
Cheapest paint.
It was like the Bogo standard.
That's how one used to work for years, isn't it? But then, like, you look at how many red Vauxhalls do we get in? There's quite a few red Vauxhalls on the road, isn't there? Like the Astra we've got at the moment.
But you know what I ask myself is, if I was buying a car, would I buy a red car?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't buy a red car.
Unless for whatever reason that particular car is like it's particular to the colour of it or whatever.
It'd have to be like a darker red, you know.
Yeah, like a candy sort of like really sort of deep red, burgundy red.
That like Man United red. What do you call that? Like your post box red. That never sells.
No.
Does anyone else struggle selling red cars?
Yeah, I always think that red as well, it's one of those colours where no matter what manufacturer it is, eventually red's the paint that starts to fade and lack appeal so quickly. Because it fades so easily.
That's right, Mercedes GLAs, they have problems with like 2-year-old ones.
Yeah, with the red paint.
Blisters, all the red paint blisters. I paint nearly a full car.
I remember that one when I started last year, It's like the pigment for some reason. Yeah. You always, the classic thing is you used to get like ex-Royal Mail vans, again, post-box red. Or like early 2000s Astras and Corsas that turned like flat pink, didn't they?
Yeah, because it could buff them up though.
You could,
come back.
Yeah.
You come back.
But that's always the thing with like Italian cars in red, like an Alfa Romeo, maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
You've just reminded me there as well. So when we used to get Corsas and they'd faded, I'd think, oh great, we can buff this up. And then Honda Jazzes, they used to fade.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get them back.
Just differences in the paint.
There's something to do with the paint, so you could not buff it back up at all.
Saying that probably like 6 or 7 years ago, if you went on Auto Trader and you just put lowest price in at national search, I bet there would have been about 20 odd Honda Jazzes in red, all of them in like pink. For about 200 quid. Originally red, but it's had to change it on the logbook because that's how bad it's got.
So red is really annoying for me. But then the next one, which always always hangs about, and we had one before Christmas, what I thought might sell because it's automatic. Gold.
Yep.
Champagne silver.
Well, the truth with that one
beige.
is that we didn't realise it was that gold when we bought it. We thought it was silver. We thought it was silver, yeah. But like mucky gold colours, that like
just
brown.
Any gold colours?
Yeah.
They just never sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they always look. It's a little bit like of a 70s colour, isn't it? It's just never come back in.
You just don't see any. The only people you see driving gold cars
are old people.
Yeah. Very old people.
Gold Rovers and yeah, that's literally what you think of, isn't it? It's like, yeah.
Watching this.
I mean, if you've managed to get on YouTube and watch this, fair play to you.
My mum can't get on here at all.
Howard will be on here. But no, gold cars and like brown cars as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not. Do you know what? It's self-explanatory. It's not a good colour.
Yeah.
But I still get sucked in if it's cheap. I always get sucked in. I think, oh, look at that margin there. There's got to be a bum for that seat.
And then it turns up and I have to stand there and go, I've got to fucking sell that. That's going to be a fucking nightmare. I can remember, do you know when the New Countryman came out, one of the launch colours they did for it was called chestnut.
Oh, I've seen that.
And it was like brown, and I mean like British Leyland brown. And I remember everybody on the launch day that we went to at Donington, when they like revealed it in front of us, was like, why the fuck have you decided to paint a car?
Did they sell many
that colour? No, I sold one. To a Chinese couple, and they had it built from the factory, but she also had it with white roof and mirrors as well. And I had to stop her from having black wheels on it. So it had that, because I was like, there's a line here somewhere, and if you have black wheels, it's gonna. Well, I mean,
like
the residual value on it was on its arse anyway, so it just made it even worse, and it had no like spec on it at all.
And did you have it leased, so she'd
she had it on finance, yeah.
Oh bloody hell!
I know.
So when you had that back, you were thinking, oh God, what we're going to do?
I think that was a few months before I left, so like I never saw the fruition of that. But I bet they struggled to sell it after.
Still there for sale.
Yeah, it's on their drive.
But another one which people might say hard to sell, but I've never struggled to sell, is a pink car.
Yeah, it's interesting, because when I think of pink cars, do you remember they did like a Fiat 500 special edition in pink? And there were a few knocking around here for a while.
Yeah.
They used to get snapped up like straight away. Yeah. Because I think that car suits pink.
Yeah, definitely.
But if it's anything else in pink,
a Golf doesn't suit
pink. No, you wouldn't have a pink Golf unless you'd had something special that night.
It's got to be like a girly sort of car, hasn't it?
It's stuff like again, if you ever see one, Nissan Figaro, mini convertible,
smart cars,
pink smart cars.
So I've never struggled to sell them.
Yeah, Nissan micro convertibles.
Yeah,
in pink. Yeah. Just end up looking like Lady Penelope, don't you?
Exactly. yeah. I wouldn't be driving around in that. No way.
I think it's a proper confidence boost if you can drive it and get away with it as a bloke. And that's not even just like in a sexist way. I think it's just one of those things that I don't know. I think even some women would struggle to drive a bright pink car.
You know, if you like attention and that, then you might.
Oh yeah, you're never going to lose it in a car park, are you?
No.
Which one's yours? The pink one. Don't even have to give them the reg.
Sense of humour.
Yeah.
So that's that one. Then modified cars. What do you think about them?
I was going to see, the thing you want to go is like, it depends on the modification, but I just think that any modification automatically is sort of a red flag.
Yeah,
I think
you're narrowing your market.
Yeah, because almost, 9 times out of 10 you're looking at cars that are probably like hot hatches, sports cars, stuff like that somebody thinks they've improved by doing a certain modification to it, like putting a new exhaust on it or mapping it. It's the classic one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And all you just think in your mind is like, there's one reason why they've modified it, and that's because they want it to go quicker.
Yeah.
And it just makes you think, well, that's just been ragged, hasn't it? Yeah. And that's what customers think as well. You can't get away from. Yeah,
they do. It devalues the car massively.
Yeah.
And the best thing is when, years ago when I was doing it, a customer, I've got a Golf and I've mapped it and I've put this on and I've spent about $5,000 on it. And in your head you're thinking, well, that's devalued at $5,000.
Yeah. Every penny you've penned, every penny you've spent, it just comes straight out of it, straight away.
Yeah, so I hate, if anybody comes with a modified car, I just say to them, oh, look, take it, we buy your car.
Yeah. I think
probably best.
I think it's a line between like.
Or put it on a forum.
Oh yeah, go and sell it in like an owners group or something like that, because they'll be all over it and they'll know. They're the sort of people that appreciate it more as well.
Yeah,
because
of course.
I think some people probably do it. They buy the car, they don't spend a shit ton of money on it, and they get to a point where they've spent so much money on modifications, then something does actually go mechanically wrong with it. It's like, well, I can't afford to fix this now because I spent all that money making it look worse. It's the be all and end all of it, isn't it? Unless it's something that someone's done to like improve it. You know, if they put like better quality brake pads or something like that on.
That's fine.
But that's okay. Just have the. And usually, again, people who've done that are like ones who know the car a bit better and have looked after it.
Yeah.
But if it turns up and it's got, you know, the brakes are shot on it when you drive it, but it's got a beefy exhaust on it, you're like, well, where's this person's priorities been?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's... Yeah, we don't want no modified cars.
Do you know what? I'm going to add one into this as well on the modification front. The modification I hate to see is really, really dark tints. Yeah, is another red flag to me as well. Yeah. Especially if they're on the... It's not necessarily too bad if it's like back passenger window and the side windows at the back. But if they've tinted the front driver and passenger window... Yeah. One, what have they been doing? Two, no.
Or if they've got that one where it like reflects stuff, you've seen them.
Oh, on the windscreen.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it just looks ridiculous.
It looks just like they've got oil all over the windscreen.
Luckily, we don't get many of them customers.
No, because again, we don't really have the stock in that attracts them, do we?
No. But if I ever have had any of them cars, again, I've just struggled to sell it.
Yeah.
It's not me.
What was that thing that Howard bought that time? That was it. That Alto.
A Suzuki Alto that had been absolutely souped, but that looked really nice. It did. It looked all right.
I never saw it in person.
You can put it on the video.
Yeah.
I think I did send you a picture, but that didn't look bad at all. Honestly, didn't. It looked nice. They'd done it really.
I suppose the difference between like. Are you a 17-year-old who's just passed his test and wants to get a bit of attention in like the sixth form car park? Yeah. Or are you 27 years old and you still think you're 17 and you've spent all your money
with your mum and dad?
You spent all your money making your car sound like it's farting all the time. That's where like
No, I hate them.
No.
So getting off them other cars that are really hard to sell. And I know in the video earlier on I said a few before Christmas when we had that T-Rock and it was high mileage and it was late plate, and I actually said on the episode, you know, the neighbours will never know high mileage stuff, if it's priced right it'll sell easy. And that did not sell easy.
5 months later.
We've only just sold it
finally went this weekend it went, didn't it?
And it was automatic. So you would think in your head...
You'd assume. I think the thing is, like, with that, it needed to go to somebody who'd come and stand in front of it. But we had a couple of customers who did come to view it and just couldn't get over the 103,000 miles on it.
They couldn't psychologically.
Yeah. But it was a beautiful car. It looked like it had done 25,000 miles, not 100,000 miles. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, the value for money you're getting is fantastic. Like, they had it for 10.5 grand, but we've sold a T-Rock, took a deposit this week on one with 20,000, and we've sold that for 20 grand.
I know.
So
because it's only a year older as well.
A year younger.
Yeah.
It looked virtually the same, didn't it?
10 grand price difference, and it's probably the same
for me, I'm always looking at, you know, how to save money and that. It wouldn't have bothered me driving round in that. But this is what I'm trying to get at. Anything that I like, or I'm just a weirdo.
I don't think you are, because anybody who knows cars, like you say you don't know cars, but you do because you buy them and sell them every single day, and you know what's important, and that is basically, is it mechanically sound?
It's been looked after.
Has it been looked after? And does it run properly?
Yeah.
And that's a prime example of like, this is where mileage doesn't really matter. It's all about how's it been cared for in the past, because it was a fleet car and it'd been serviced like every 10,000 miles or something.
Yeah, a book of like, well,
a book of words, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But I won't make that mistake again.
No.
High mileage stuff I think does sell, but it's got to be under 5 grand.
Yeah.
It's got to be in that sort of price range, hasn't it?
You know, if you were selling that privately off your drive, that Tiguan,
would have sold,
I was going to say, because there's no...
But why is that?
Are people more likely to expect a car on, like as a private owner, to have more miles on than at a dealer? Did they automatically think that we're just going out looking for the low mileage stuff? That might be a...
I don't know. But the woman who bought that car, she got an absolute bargain.
Oh yeah.
And she got an absolute quality car.
Yeah.
It was absolutely mint.
It's one of those where you go like, if I just needed a car for the rest of my life now, because it's...
Yeah.
What's going to go wrong on it, really? It's perfect.
No. So yeah, high mileage
stuff.
Probably stay away from that now.
Yeah.
Like the newer high
mileage stuff. If you're getting like 15-year-old cars and it's got 100,000 miles on it, that's expected, isn't it? Yeah.
So, for example, a Volvo XC60. On a 14 plate, 13 plate with 100,000, you'll have no problem selling that. But that 20 plate was just a bit too new.
Yeah.
People couldn't get their head around it. And then the other thing is, I think people that wanted it on finance couldn't get it on finance.
We did sell it on finance.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think in the end...
Maybe I'm completely wrong.
In the end, I think that was a non-problem, but it might come down to like what's someone's credit like. Are they more likely to let someone go through on a car with 100,000 miles if they've got really good credit compared to somebody who they know is buying at the top end of the budget, but they're scraping together every last penny to get a new car? It might just be, but that's for finance companies to decide. If anyone's had any experience of selling like really high mileage cars on finance and you've had that same experience, I'd be interested to hear it, because we can never really seem to get the recipe right in that way, can we?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. So that's that. What's your other one?
I was going to say...
We really struggle to sell.
During recent experience as well, electric vans.
Oh, God.
Or just vans in general for us were... I can't do them anymore.
We just don't know. This is another thing. You need to know your niche, don't you? You need to know your market.
We're really good at cars, and that's it. With a lovely car company, we've got that with us. Yeah. Selling commercials is like, there will be Vanguard and whatever who. That's where you go for one.
That's it. And they're going to go to Vanguard, look at 4 or 5 vans with 60 vans there.
Exactly.
So they've got a choice, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're not going
to
cherry pick one from us, are they?
No, and that's just it. But even like with like the electric vans, we bought a few, didn't we, beginning of last year, when they were really starting to like, there was still a little bit of a buzz around electric cars and whatever. And then since the markets fell flat, they've become an absolute nightmare to move.
Yes, and I don't think it's just us.
No, I think
it's everybody.
Generally everybody, And I think it's I mean, don't get me wrong, the range is not like amazing on them, but if you're using it as like a local trader doing 30 or 40 miles,
plumber.
You're backwards and forwards between the same job 2 or 3 days a week, then great. Yeah. If you're somebody who's delivering engines from Luton to Land's End, probably not for you. Yeah. that's it, isn't it?
Definitely not.
Yeah. Do you remember that bloke with the Mercedes E-Vito van that we sold?
Oh no, it only done 80 miles.
It didn't have fast charge on it as well, so it only had like the Type 2 thingy. And he drove it back to Southampton. Never heard from him since.
How long was it going to take him to get there?
Well, I do remember I worked it out on like ZapMap and made him a thing. It was like 8.5 hours. No, sorry, it was about 16 hours because he had like
Every time I charge up.
8 hours worth of charging, because obviously he couldn't just do it half an hour, 8% off he goes. He had to do like 2 hours charge every single time. And I was sat here with like an arsehole about that big for the next 3 days, thinking he's going to ring back and say, I'm going to hand this van back. It's not for me. It's not for me.
See, that would have stressed me out. But we had actually sold the van.
Yeah.
Because I sold it, and the bloke to someone in Leeds. And it nearly didn't make it.
To Leeds?
To bloody Leeds.
From Chesterfield.
You know, and then I got there, and he went, I thought this van had 3 seats, but it's only got 2. So I was like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Then I had to take it all the way back. Then I had to charge up, and it took forever to charge up.
Yeah, because you can't just do it like and off.
So there we go again. Don't be selling stuff that you don't know about.
Yeah. If you're like, because there are a few out there, if you're like an electric car specialist and you know your niche, go for it. Yeah. Because you've probably got the contacts who can fix them and get your parts and stuff like that as well.
All right and all that.
We just can't. We both know as bits about electric cars.
And then when people ask questions, you're like stuttering, aren't you? Like, you know, you need to be. It's
that like, if somebody asks me about a 10-year-old Mercedes, I vaguely might know what engine was in it. Yeah. If somebody asks me about what battery pack was in a so-and-so Nissan, whatever, I'm like, I haven't got a clue.
And then that's not going to fill the customer with confidence.
No, and that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
And then the thing is, the people that buy electric cars and vans are already shaking like a shitting dog when they get here. Yeah. They're never like really confident.
No. That bloke who drove one back to Edinburgh as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
It took him 15 hours to do it. I just can't. Because again, they're dirt cheap at the moment. So people who probably are thinking, I'm going to save a bit of money. Yeah.
Yeah, but
and then they get one and realise it.
The money conscious people are a little bit too money conscious, so then they get really scared that they're going to
lose loads of money on it just in the first place.
Yeah, so they have been the hardest cars to sell this last year. Is electric vans and electric cars.
Yeah, I was going to say don't buy any more, but you've just bought another one, haven't you?
But they were cheap.
Oh yeah. Is that the channel slogan now? It was cheap.
But it was a Renault Zoe, and it was I like Renault Zoes.
Zoes do sell really easily. To be fair. Apart from that white one, but that was a battery lease.
Yeah, this is another good one.
Yeah.
Don't buy electric cars with a battery lease. Oh. You will never sell it. You'll never sell it at all. And then it's not going to go.
Then there's all the problems of actually sorting the battery lease out afterwards.
Because they want £4,000 offers now for. What is it? So we sold the car and the customer didn't put the lease in his name.
No, we sent it. We did everything that they told us to do to send it over. Yeah. Then apparently they didn't get the letter, so they told us to do it again. So we did it again, and now it's led to this.
And they went to the solicitors and they want us to pay for the full battery lease of £4,000.
But then again, like I've looked into it, it's not, as I said before, it's not just us. It seems to be a few people that are stuck with this.
People have done it, haven't they?
So
it's not good.
But again, anyone else who's doing these with battery lease cars, let's hear your experiences, because it is
absolute nightmare.
It's such a like really badly thought out process to go, we're going to sell you a car, but we're going to give you the engine separately, basically. Yeah. Can you imagine a manufacturer doing that with like a BMW or whatever? Yeah. You can have the car, but you have to lease the engine. You'd go, no.
Stop that. Yeah. Stop that. So definitely don't do that.
No. So
definitely not.
Steer clear of those. I think the final one, and we've talked about these a lot on the channel recently, is what you'd brand as car supermarket cars.
Yeah, we can't sell them. I've tried. I've really tried. We can sell them.
Yeah.
But they just don't fly out the door.
No.
So, and especially if you're a small trader just starting from home and you go out and buy a 21 plate, even Ford Fiesta, and it's like 16 grand, you've just got no chance of selling it.
Because the people who are looking for those are going main dealer or car supermarket.
And like Craig from C-Cars said, they're going to go to available car and they've got every colour there available to choose from.
And it's just basically, which one would you like, sir?
Yeah, exactly. So, for us, selling the car, we're getting away from that.
No.
Big time.
I think we've kind of cracked the, like say, the recipe a little bit now, in knowing what we need to look for.
Yeah.
And it's basically just look around at what do a lot of other independents sell and sticking with that same.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, going by that Zoe, it's 10 grand or something like that. Great.
Perfect.
And the Ioniq, that's going to be 11 grand.
Yeah.
So it's a good price range, low mileage.
Everyone seems to want stuff under 12 grand at the moment, don't they? That seems to be where it's going. Yeah. I think. Well, I was going to say something on the easy part of that as well is, I think a lot of things with, like, you know, with the new congestion charge and all that in ULEZ in London and whatever. Yeah. It's probably easier for people down south to sell petrols, but I bet there's lots of people who struggle to sell diesels down there. Yeah. Maybe. Whereas it's not really become too much of a problem for us, has it? Like Euro 5 stuff and whatever, it's still selling quite easy. Yeah.
But I thought, because we're near London, we're not near London.
No.
But I thought we'd get more southern sales.
Yeah, 2 or 3 hours up the motorway.
We do price them really, like, cheap, not cheap, but reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a bit disappointing. So so that's it. So if anyone's got any more that we've missed, what you really, really struggle to sell, just put it in the comments. Yeah, let us know. And any suggestions of what you want us to talk about, because we always want new ideas for videos as well. Just let us know as well. So we'll see you next time.